TV. I am not black.
With y'all some things you may not know about what's happening in the North Carolina mountains in the aftermath of Helene. Here's number one. If you have friends or family that are headed into the mountains or who live there, the looting has picked up major steam. I was advised yesterday by a county sheriff to make sure that anybody out and about is carrying, and in his words, carrying with the safety off. There are very aggressive people out there, and I'm just going to go ahead and say this. It's not because they're necessarily awful. They're desperate. Desperate people do desperate things, y'all. And why are they desperate? Because there's no water in some of these communities. We have neighbors in North Carolina with no water. And all I can say is this: the government ain't coming to save you. Not now, not ever, because they don't care about you, the people, anymore. It is the citizens who are going to have to step it up. Now, I got to tell y'all, I was floored yesterday by how my community, which is a little over an hour away from the affected areas, showed up at donation sites with water and diapers and formula and some liquid IV. I mean, y'all brought all kind of things, bleach, vinegar. You are ready to help, and we're going to take more donations today, and we're so grateful for everything because I'm going to get it into the hands of actual volunteers. And I was asking people, like, why are you bringing it to me? Some of y'all don't even know me. And they said, well, we don't trust the relief organizations anymore. Y'all, we have lost our organizations to grifters. We have lost our organizations to liars. And so we have to rely on each other because that's how this country was built. This country was built patriot by patriot. And I can tell you this, as a realtor, I know my realtors in the mountains, and I have talked to them, and they know the neighbors too. So I am getting your donations into hands that are going to get it into hands. And everybody that sent me dollars, I got teams of shoppers out, and I got receipts to prove it, because we are not grifters. We are neighbors. And the patriots that are in the mountains, if you see this, if your family sees this, hear me now. You are not forgotten by the rest of North Carolina. And if you are not in North Carolina, then there are ways that you can give. But can I just remind y'all of something? You cannot eat money. You cannot drink money. So for those of y'all that thought money was your God, and by the way, that includes our freaking elected officials, it's not your God. Told my girl.
Now, listen to what she just said. Those that think they can eat money, those that think they can drink money. I told you this many sunrises ago. Once I started coming into my awakening, coming back into my memory, understanding that I've been through this many times before. We have been through this many times before. Some in this realm and some above, looking down at this realm. You cannot eat and you cannot drink money. And those that said money was their God, I want you to know, call on to your God to come and save you, to come and help you. Not to mention when she stated that the sheriff told her that you need to have your firearm on your hip and the safety off. These counties that was destroyed by Helene, what do you think? Who you think majority is in those counties? Huh? The people that she's helping that look just like her, and look at what they're going to be doing to one another. See, the last time it was a Great Depression, right? What you don't know is they sold their children. I said this to you before. When the chips got down and they couldn't use the television, they can't use radio, they can't use their world to program them, to tell them what to do next, and they have to actually think and use their own mind. What's going to happen is that's going to frustrate them and put them in an aggressive, primitive state, and they're going to act out. On with the video.
Girlfriend this morning while we were talking about this during our run, I said, tell your children, 'cause she's got grown children, this is why you keep a stash of water on hand. This is why you keep a stash of food on hand. But for those of y'all that are not in affected areas, if you can take your donated items and send it to the mountains, then send it with a friend. Make sure you're sending truckloads so that we don't overload the roads, because our first responders are overwhelmed. By the way, thank you, Governor DeSantis, for doing more for North Carolina than North Carolina's governor has. I'm very grateful for your National Guard, because we have to help each other, y'all. And I'm going to tell you something. If you will share this with somebody who doesn't know what's happening in North Carolina, they need to know. They need to know that there are entire towns gone. Chimney Rock is gone. A beautiful town. Swannanoa, gone. Montreat, gone. Other towns damaged beyond repair. That means our geography has changed, our culture is at risk, but most importantly, our people, our generational people have lost their generational homes. This ain't about your granite countertops anymore. Listen, y'all, listen. Tell somebody how they can help. I am but one resource. There are people I know all over North and South Carolina that have been gathering up goods and trucks. Somebody as far away as Massachusetts putting a truck together. Let me know. I can connect you to where to take things. The Baptists are doing a great job out of Boone. Samaritan's Purse is on the ground. I trust those two organizations. I wish I had trust for more because I don't trust this government, but I trust the people of North Carolina. Y'all, the biggest thing you can do, pray. Pray right now. Pray fervently that people will turn their hearts back to God, and pray for a hedge of protection around all those who have seen things they should never have to see. I'll tell you one more story before I hang up this video. I had a lady come to my donation site yesterday, and her grandson is 10 years old, living in the mountains with his mother, who works in a VA hospital. They're getting the kid out today to get him home because they can finally get him out, and they're worried because he has seen things he should never have to see. When you have children that are seeing bodies on the ground and towns gone, we're going to have to answer for that one day, y'all. Please pray. Please do something. And for those of y'all that have already done something, I can't thank you enough. I want to share with
All right, hold on. Let me tell you. Listen to this part again.
y'all some things. Lady come to my donation site yesterday,
Listen
and her
to this.
grandson is 10 years old, living in the mountains with his mother, who works in a VA hospital. They're getting the kid out today to get him home because they can finally get him out, and they're worried because he has seen things he should never have to see. When you have children that are seeing bodies on the ground and towns gone, we're going to have to answer for that one day, y'all. Please pray. Please do something. And for those of y'all that have already done something, I can't thank you enough.
Paul. Now, remember the part when she stated that they had to get the 10-year-old boy out of there because the boy have saw things that she don't feel as though a 10-year-old should have seen. Bodies laying on the ground, debris, damage to houses and homes, neighborhoods destroyed, along with the bodies that are just laying there on the ground. And I told y'all, see what's coming our way and going forward is going to shock a lot of us. And once we start to see in our immediate area, in our immediate neighborhood, our immediate families, bodies, and there's no funeral parlors, there is no coroners, there is no ambulance that's coming to get them. No, they're going to be dead or buried right there 9 times out of 10, or you're going to have to put them outside in the backyard, however it go. But the one thing is this. Is the same way she felt as though her 10-year-old reflection, her 10-year-old child that looks like her should not have seen that. Our children were being fed to crocodiles. Our children were being sexually experimented on. Charles Alfred Kinsey believed that babies as young as 3 days old could experience an orgasm. Who do you think he was doing that on? Huh? Who do you think is 3 days old? He felt as though babies can experience or orgasm. Who do you think, what children you think he was doing that on? Besides his own, but more importantly, mine's. So the things that my children, the things that our people have witnessed, the lynching, the physical abuse, the experimentation, the barbaric treatment that has been done to our women and children and men in front of children on a continuous day-to-day basis. And this was done by a whole nother living organism, a whole nother living species. What's happening right now with Helene and all the other anomalies that's taking place on the planet, that's through natural disaster. That is nature that is doing that. That was not done by a group of species that felt like they should oppress another group of species. You see? So when they talk about what children should not have witnessed and what children, oh no, this is only the beginning. You all have a whole lot of paying to do. And guess what? No matter, I'm going to say this. I know that there is a handful of you that may not commit or do heinous acts But guess what? All of you all are going to be put together, and you're going to be forced to learn how to live with one another and persevere. Now, do you like your chances persevering together, or do you think the chances are more likely that y'all will kill and commit cannibalism and eat each other? Do you think that'd be more likely? That's more likely to happen as opposed to y'all persevering together. Because the perseverance sounds good now with the TV cameras on, with the power still working in some areas, with the cameras and still can record. But let me explain something to you. Once the power grid go down and these weather anomalies are going to increase exponentially, it's going to increase dramatically. We're going to see who's really the savage and who's really the benevolent angelic being. We're going to see that, and that's going to be right before our eyes. They will not live comfortable no more. I want y'all to understand that, and we're not going to live comfortable with practicing Stockholm syndrome either, with adapting things in this world to for us to be able to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to our atrocities that has been taking place with us and that are still taking place with us, and the fact that we are capitulating willingly to accept this abuse now. So no one is going to live comfortable on either side. It may look like so-called black people are living comfortable, but we're not. Trust me, we're not. And they're going to make it a way whereas though we don't look like we're living comfortable either, because that port that just got shut down that brings in all that equipment, bringing all the goods to here on the east and the west coast, that's going to be a problem. That is going to be a serious problem, along with the weather anomalies that are still kicking off. All of this is gearing up for a major cold winter. I don't believe it's going to get that cold in certain parts, but it's going to be cold as far as the treatment and what people are used to versus what people are going to have to get used to. As my man Orion would say, adapt or die. Either one. Abundance and gratitude to you all.
TV, I am not black.